Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Jessica Magaji Joseph. First, the headlines. House of Reps move to end food smuggling insecurity in Nigeria. Kenya's reacts following impeachment of Deputy President. Rwanda government jails government critic. And on sport, Emeka Ye appointed as new Rivers United captain. Now the news in detail. BossFM 95.5 Abuja, a subsidiary of Fanta Gold Limited, celebrated its 5th anniversary on the airwaves on October 7, 2024. The event was filled with exciting activities, including music competitions and special presentations, marking 5 years of broadcasting excellence. Hillstv correspondent Ruth Ekpo has details. The Senate yesterday said it was fully behind the Supreme Court's judgment on local government autonomy. It also assured that it will work with the House of Representatives to ensure alterations to the relevant provisions of the Constitution to provide for the full autonomy of local government in the country. The upper chamber asked all the states and local governments to fully comply with the Supreme Court's judgment on the disbursement and utilization of funds to the third tier of government. Resolutions of the Senate were sequel to prayers by the Deputy President of Senate, Barrow Jibrin. After the closed-door session, in his remarks, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, stated the Supreme Court has said the money should go directly to the account of the government in the country. In other words, the Nigerian Senate stands strongly behind the Supreme Court's position on its efforts through judicial pronouncement to sanitize the administration of local government in the country and stop further abuse of local government funds. The Senate further says it stands strongly behind the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Enugu State Police Command has arrested one Emmanuel Ogumba, 52, of Ezemo Agu community in Udenu local government area over alleged child trafficking and forgery. The command's public relations officer, Daniel Ndukwe, made this known in a statement on Wednesday in Enugu. Ndukwe said that the command's operatives serving in the anti-kidnapping tactical squad apprehended the suspect on September 28, 2024. According to the PPRO, the suspect's arrest followed the interception of a public notice on an abandoned child he made and endorsed in the name of the Enugu State Ministry of Gender and Social Development as the director. The police spokesman said upon his arrest, he was found to be involved in child trafficking with one pregnant woman, the 4-year-old child, and another 2-year-old child, both female. According to him, the suspect was also found to be in unauthorized possession of different documents from the Ministry of Gender Affairs and unverified certificate from the Enugu State Ministry of Environment and Mineral Resources. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, implement the Export Prohibition Act 2004 to curb food smuggling and food insecurity in Nigeria. The House also urged the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security to provide more incentives for farmers to boost agricultural production and productivity. The Committees on Agricultural Production and Services, Legislative Compliance, Custom, Commerce, and Industry were mandated to ensure compliance and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion titled Need to Curb Export Prohibition Act to Curb Insecurity in Nigeria, sponsored by Mukhtar Shagaya. He noted that Nigeria is currently experiencing high level of food insecurity, food inflation, and food shortages. This situation, Shagaya said, has led to millions of citizens lacking access to sufficient and nutritious food, resulting in untold hardship, hunger, and misery among the population. When we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Cameroon's senior officials have insisted President is in excellent health after a long public absence stoked widespread speculation about the 91-year-old leader coalition. President Paul Biya has not been seen in public since 8th of September when he attended a China-African forum in Beijing. He has since missed events he was scheduled to be at, such as the United Nations General Assembly in New York. But in a statement, the head of Cameroon's civil cabinet said Biya was well and condemned the mischievous individual speculating about the president's health and eventual death. The statement came after days of opposition parties and civil society groups calling for information on Biya's health and exact whereabouts. Biya has long been criticized for the amount of time he spent outside the country and in Switzerland in particular. A Rwandan social media activist has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for breaching the country's law on genocide denial. Rashid Hakuzimana, who was first arrested in 2021, denied all the charges, which also included inciting ethnic division and spreading false information, for claiming that anyone who dares to challenge President Paul Kagame in elections will be jailed. During the trial, he told the court that it was criticism of the government in his popular social media videos that was the real reason for his arrest. Under Rwandan law, it is a crime to deny, downplay, or to attempt to justify the genocide. The judge who sentenced Hakuzimana on Tuesday said his remarks on social media, such as those suggesting that genocide orphans were not as well cared for as the children of senior government officials, amounted to fueling division among its citizens. We move to other parts of Africa after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hillstv, Polka.
Thanks for staying with us. Kenyans have shown reaction on Wednesday after Parliament overwhelmingly voted to impeach the country's deputy president. Kenya's lawmakers approved a motion on Tuesday to impeach the country's deputy president following day-long discussions and after Rigathi Gachagua appeared in Parliament to defend himself against several charges, including allegations that he supported anti-government protests in June. The motion was approved by 281 to 44 votes in favor of impeachment, well above the 117 votes constitutionally required. The motion now goes to the Parliament's upper house, which will debate the matter and also hold the vote. Nairobi resident John Wangi said the impeachment isn't adding much value to Kenyans, as he added that both the president and the deputy president were supposed to be impeached. For impeachment to be final, it would need the additional backing of 2/3 of senators in the upper house. It is not clear when that vote will take place. Sudan is the largest displacement crisis in the world, Vera Jourova, Vice President of the European Commission for Values and Transparency, said, as the European Parliament debated the situation in the war-torn country on Tuesday. The conflict in Sudan has generated displacement at levels unseen since the war in Syria. It's now 10.9 million internally displaced persons in Sudan and an additional 2.2 million people having crossed the border into the neighboring countries, Jourova said. Sudan plunged into conflict in mid-April 2023 when long-simmering tensions between its military and paramilitary leaders broke out in the capital Khartoum and spread to Darfur and other regions. Some 10 million people have been internally displaced and the country is engulfed in a humanitarian crisis. The UN in September said some 25 million Sudanese risked famine without more donations. Up next is business news. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. On business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Bank of Industry, and Development Bank of Nigeria have publicly declared their commitment to the Women Entrepreneurs Finance Code. This initiative aims to tackle the substantial 294 billion naira funding gap currently affecting women-owned and women-led micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria. Speaking at the ceremonial declaration of commitment to Nigeria's interest of the flying public, Buhari stated this on Wednesday